Welcome to the darkness. Hope you're excited for some black blue enchantments. As far as opening hand goes, yeah, I like this. I don't really want to mulligan pass. Wish we had a little bit more action, but we're going to keep on this one. Our opponent's on the play. We do have a scry, and we'll be able to draw an additional card. So hopefully we kind of draw into something a little bit more exciting. But other than that, we've got the mana base. We have a mana rock. It's going to allow us to ramp a little bit, and if something does happen to our precious enchantments, we can at least get those back onto the battlefield with crystal chimes, or at least back to our hands. Let's go for a Temple of Deceit. Let's go and get the scry going, the scurry, the fever, the insanity, the questioning of one. Doomblade, yeah, let's go and put that on the bottom for right now. It doesn't really sound like good in a Queen Marchesa deck. And then anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. We are playing Ramses Overdark, going all the way back to Legends for this one. Really enjoyed this commander. It's going to be tap, destroy target enchanted creature. And I'll kind of explain what we've got going on as far as Ramses goes with that tap ability. Let's go ahead and go for, definitely want to get down Talisman of Dominance. Let's go ahead and get down the Choked, and then let's go ahead and go for, we'll reveal the Swamp out of our hand. Yeah, that's fine. Reveal the Swamp. There we go. Let's go for Talisman. It's going to be 1-2. Let's go and get that down. And then anything else will actually be online for Dismember, so we'll need to keep that in mind if our opponent does get down some sort of utility creature. Anything else will kick the turn to our opponent. We're playing against Queen Marchesa. Death Touch and Haste. Whenever Queen Marchesa enters the battlefield, you become the Monarch. At the beginning of your upkeep, if an opponent... at the beginning of your upkeep, if an opponent is the Monarch, create a 1/1 black assassin creature token with Death Touch. And there we go. Death Touch and, yeah, just Death Touch and Haste. There we go. All right, so they're going to become the Monarch. I think at this point right now, let's go and tap out, and let's go and go for this Dismember. We're going to target Queen Marchesa. That's going to be 1/2, and we'll use that last colorless mana to take care of Queen Marchesa. Mainly, we just want to get that, get her off the battlefield, really get that commander tax up and going until we can get our stuff going. Let's go ahead and go for anything else we're going to go for in this particular turn. Let's go and go for Swiftfoot Boots. I want to get that down for Ramses for sure. Let's go for Swiftfoot Boots. Let's go ahead and go for Sunken Hollow. We're going to have that enter the play tapped, and then anything else, we're going to go kick the turn over to our opponent. Now, as far as Ramses Overdark, if you haven't seen this, I've only put out one video with Ramses, and I was kind of looking for a commander to do this week, and I was like, oh, let's go for Ramses. Sounds kind of fun. Long story short, so we have the tap ability, destroy target enchanted creature. We're running a lot of really fun enchantments in here. Whenever it's put into the graveyard, destroy target non-black creature. So we're basically running a lot of enchantments that are going to give us some sort of extra value from destroying our opponent's creatures. We're going to be able to, once we put this on one of our opponent's creatures, we destroy that creature with Ramses. We'll be able to destroy another creature. We have a few more. When you make the land drop for the turn, let's go ahead and get down. I guess technically it doesn't matter. Let's go ahead and get down Underground Sea. And let's go ahead and go for Crystal Chimes. Yeah, I think that sounds good. It's going to be 1-2-3. We can start bringing some of that back if we do get some really good action going. And do we want to go and put down Chime of Night on Geist Honored Monk? Yeah, I think that would actually work out really well. We'll go and go for that. We'll go for Chime of Night and go and put that on Geist Honored Monk. Okay, let's go for Chime of Night on Monk. That's going to be white, and then blue and black, excuse me, and then anything else we're going to go and pass the turn. But yeah, so we're just running a bunch of enchantments that give us some little extra value. Very common theme in some of the enchantments that we do have are going to be certain black enchantments that we're going to put in our opponent's creatures, and then whenever that creature dies, we're going to be able to return it to our side of the battlefield. So it's kind of like you're getting some good removal, and at the same time you're able to steal that creature from the abyss or whatever you want to call it. It's going to come back on our side of the battlefield. But outside of the enchantments, when I first built this deck, I was just like, hey, let's throw all the enchantments into a Ramses Overdark deck. And it was kind of fun, but it was really clunky. And so as I kind of started to fine-tune the deck, I really kind of realized that Ramses Overdark, if you're thinking about building Ramses, definitely you want to run your enchantment package. You want to have probably around 10 enchantments that are high impact for you. But outside of that, you just want to build just a really core black-blue control deck. We've got a ton of removal in here. We have a lot of board wipes. And we also have some really high impact creatures. So we have stuff like Sire of Stagnation. And we're also running Potiscano for Guild Lotus, okay. Sire Stagnation. We're also running the Scarab God in here. We're looking to destroy a lot of our opponent's creatures. And so getting down the Scarab God and reanimating that out of the graveyard. It's always a lot of fun to get that going. Now our opponent does have a ton of mana with 5 cards in the hand. We are looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6 with the land drop. Do we want to at this point right now? Actually drawn to Hero's Downfall. We can completely tap out for Ramses if we wanted to right now. What I'm thinking about, let's just go and get Swamped down. We'll see if our opponent kind of rolls anything else out. We'll probably end up going for Hero's Downfall on Monk. I think that sounds pretty good. Yeah, let's go and pass the turn. Typically, I want our opponent to either A, do something on their turn, and we get down Ramses to get the boots on there, and they'll be kind of set to go. We are sitting at 21, and we are looking at Monk sitting at a 3-3, so it's really not the end of the world that this is going to happen. But with us not really having a source of card draw, we might end up going for Hero's Downfall. We'll just kind of see what our opponent rolls out this turn. Okay, opponent went for Altar's Reap, sacrificing one of the spirit tokens to draw 2 cards. Okay, opponent's going to tap out for Siege Gang Commander. They're going to go and get that down. Let's see. So if they get down Siege Gang Commander, they're going to have a couple activations off of that. Yeah, let's go and let that get down. That's going to make Geist Honored Monk. That's going to make it a 3-3. Those 3 goblins enter the battlefield. It's going to make it a 6-6. So I think that would be a pretty good opportunity to go for Hero's Downfall. Now, what we can do is, if we want to, if we're worried about Ramses getting pinged by our opponent for something like Siege Gang Commander, we'll kind of go for a little bit of a tempo play. Not tempo play, but I think I like going for Hero's Downfall or Siege Gang Commander, and that also puts us online for taking care of Honored Monk once we go for Ramses next turn. Yeah, let's go and do that. All right. Let's go and let them swing in for 7. That will put us down to 14. Hopefully we can kind of stabilize from that, but look at those Goblin tokens. Digging that. There's some Dominaria Goblins right there. It looks really good. I don't know what it is Magic Online used to use the goblin that looks like it's sitting on the footsteps of a building, and I cannot stand that goblin art. It looks so goofy, and to have like a spiky looking goblin like that's actually really good. Let's go and go for Hero's Downfall on Siege Gang Commander. I think that sounds good. It's gonna be black, and let's go and tap out Cuddleless on Talisman of Dominance. Okay, we're going to take care of Siege Gang Commander. They're going to have that the Monarch token card draw trigger, and then let's see what we draw into. At least we're going to be online for Ramses at this point. Let's go and go for let's go and get down Mana Confluence. Yeah, let's go and tap out for Ramses Overdark. It's going to be double black. It's going to be double blue, and then 1 and then 2. Yeah, let's go and go for Ramses Overdark. So I'm going to get that onto the battlefield, and we'll see if our opponent has any sort of spot removal. They do have 7 cards in the hand, but I at least like sequencing it this way. That way, if they don't have some removal, we don't just instantly die to that Goblin Bombardment or that Goblin activation of sacrificing a Goblin, dealing 2 damage to one opponent. Now, this is where the old school Ramses Commander, we're looking at 6 total converted mana cost. So if they do have some spot removal, it almost kind of takes us out of the game. Not necessarily out of the game completely, but we kind of left it on the line for this particular line of play. But it's just a little clunky sometimes going, all right, their opponent's going to have Murderous Cut on that. It's going to take care of Ramses Overdark, and that's going to be, 8, 9 coming across next turn. We will have a little bit of an option. If we do rip into something like a board wipe or something like that, we can maybe survive until the next turn, but we'll see what our opponent's going to roll out. But yeah, that's one of the downsides. This deck is definitely one of those... It's really fun to pilot, and when it operates really well, it's really fun to get that going. But sometimes, if your opponent just has one piece of spot removal or something like that, the whole thing kind of comes crumbling down, since it is kind of a weaker style deck. So that's kind of why we do have that black-blue control to kind of follow up on. All right, opponent's going to go for Pilgrim's Eye. Enter the battlefield, switch line for a basic lane card. Okay, our opponent is going for Makeshift Mannequin, returning Siege Gang Commander back to the battlefield. That will make the Geist Honored Monk a 10-10, and then they're going to have at least 3 goblins swinging across for lethal. So I'm going to let our opponent swing across on this one. Okay, this is going to be our opponent swinging in for 11. That's going to make it 12, and then to come across for lethal on this one, knocking us down past 0. So good game to our opponent. Get to see kind of like, I guess, a little bit of a tokens build of Marchesa or something like that. But yeah, as far as that particular line of play, if we get down Ramses, and then they do have at least 2 open mana, that's going to be 2 activations taking care of Ramses when we go for the Swift Boot activation. So at least kind of the way we sequence when, it was a little bit risky completely tapping out for it, but we kind of had to do it that way, because if we do get down Ramses Overdark and it does stick with the Swift Foot Boot, we can go for the activation on Geist Honored Monk, and maybe the game kind of plays out just a little bit differently. But our opponent had that spot removal, and yeah, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye. Welcome to Hallar. As far as opening hand goes, yeah, I love it. We have 4 lands in the hand. We have some protection for Hallar. We also have Fell War Stone and Heroic Intervention. Yes, I will keep on this one in a heartbeat. I'd like to get a little bit more card draw going, but other than that, y'all take it. Let's go and go for Misty. It's going to get that down. In fact, we'll go ahead and crack that one, and we'll go and grab the red-green dual source that comes into play tap no matter what. I can't remember the name of it. Sheltered Thicket. Yes. There we go. Actually, some real pretty artwork. Anything else? We're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. We're playing Hallar, the Fire Fletcher. Trample, whenever you cast a spell, if that spell was kicked, put a +1 counter on Hallar. Then Hallar deals damage equal to the number of +1 counters onto it to each opponent. Playing gets Scion of the Dragon. It's going to be Wooburg, flying, 2-mana activation, search your lobby for a dragon permanent card. And then I'll cover that in just a second. Let's go ahead and go for Rootbound Crag, because that is a 4-star mountain. Let's go ahead and go for Felwar Stone. That way we can get a little bit ahead on mana. And actually, our Felwar Stone is going to be able to tap for any color because of the Wooburg of Scion of the Dragon. Kick it back over there. Like I said, we're playing against Scion of the Dragon. 2-mana activation. Search your library for a dragon permanent card. Put it onto the battlefield. If you do, Scion becomes a copy of that card until end of turn. Then shuffle your library. So should be pretty fun. See what we're up against. If it is traditional Scion, most of the time when you play against, when you play Wooburg online, you don't really know sure what you're going to run into. There's times I've run into Sliver Queen, Super Friends. A lot of that kind of stop. Well, actually, with Nicol Bolas hitting the bin, this is pretty much going to be Dragon. So I'll go ahead and take that one. All right, put it bin Nicol Bolas into the bin. Let's go ahead and go for Hallar. Yeah, I think I like that. Let's go and go for Hallar. It's going to be red and then green. We need to get some +1 counters going for sure. Then let's go ahead and put we'll go ahead and put Stomping Ground into play tap. Not going to pay 2 life on that one. Anything else that we can go for? No, we're going to go and pass the turn. Now the interesting thing with Hallar is just kind of want to get this out there. A little bit of a, I guess not editor's note, but recorder's note, whatever you're going to call it. Hallar is definitely one of those commanders that's it's a little clunky sometimes. It's still really fun to play. There's going to be some games where Hallar just really, really shines and you have a lot of fun and you get some really interesting matches, but there's going to be some games where if your opponent has a ton of spot removal, we can't get Hallar going. We're not drawing into our kicker spells. You're just kind of sitting there, sitting back, slowly losing the game. So, but other than that, I've had a really fun time in this. Action fact, this is my first video I'm recording with Hallar. I've probably jammed about 5 to 10 games with him already, and I've really enjoyed it. And in fact, I've had a couple commander damage wins, which is really interesting. And I don't know, just some really fun stuff. All right, let's go and push him for 3. I think I like going for that. That's going to knock our opponent down to 27 and be on the board for 3 total commander damage. We do have Molten Disaster if we want to go for that. Kicker for 1. That's going to deal 1 damage to each creature. It's going to give us an additional counter and at the same time still kind of leave us up for Yavimaya Hollow. Most of the time, yeah, let's just go and hold on to it at this point right now. Yeah, I think I like that. But yeah, as far as Hallar goes, there's kind of different ways to play Hallar. I've gotten a few commander damage wins with something like Kessig Wolfrun. We get a lot of +1 counters on there. Another fun thing to do is Solidarity of Heroes. I think it's a 2-mana instant spell, double the number of +1 counters on target creature. So it's almost kind of like Hallar. It's kind of Hallar is one of those commanders that there's a lot of stuff going on and it wants to do all of the things, but since you're trying to do so many things at once, it's not good at one of those things in particular. There's going to be some games where that one thing in particular really shines and you have a really good showing for it. And there's going to be other times where it's just kind of like you've just got a lot going on. It's a real busy deck, but still fun to play. It's going to go for Kessig Wolfrun, and we'll go and push in with Hallar. If they want to go for the see if we'll trade on maybe the frigate that Kessig Wolfrun is a thing or something like that. We'll get in for 3 unless they offer up a chump block on Scion. And all right, no chump block from our opponent. Okay. All right, so I'm knocking down to 24 and then anything else. Now we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. Now, if our opponent does get a lot of dragons on the battlefield, we do have Yavimaya Hollow on the battlefield, so we can use that to regenerate Hallar. We also have Blasphemous Act in the hand, so if we get a lot of stuff moving, we can regenerate Hallar and then use Blasphemous Act to kind of reset the board for us. But yeah, long story short, if you didn't see the deck tech, one of the main things that's really going to help us kind of push a Hallar game plan is going to be getting down Hallar and finding one of our spells that's going to either amplify the number of +1 counters on Hallar or putting a bunch of +1 counters on Hallar. We have Blessings of Nature in here. Yeah, Blessings of Nature, that's going to be the miracle for 1. Putting those, not Scion, but putting those 5 +1 counters on there really kind of helps you. That's one of the things about the deck is that you can slowly start casting kicker spells. That does happen sometimes. But outside of that, if you get into spots where you can go for Blessings of Nature, get those counters on there. Let's say that we have Forgotten Ancient on the battlefield and get a bunch of +1 counters on there too. You can kind of do different stuff like that to where all you have to do is cast maybe 1 or 2 kicker spells and then you're good to go. All right, so we have their dragon coming down. You may draw that many cards and put a permanent card from your hand onto the battlefield. See what they're going to show for it on this one. They do have 8 cards in the hand, so I'll see what dragon's going to pop out from behind the Dragon. Bladewing the Risen. Whenever it enters the battlefield, you may return target dragon permanent card from your graveyard to the battlefield. So we're probably going to see Nicol Bolas onto the battlefield. Yep, that's fine. And then this basically at this point right now, it's just putting us into a better spot for Blasphemous Act. We're looking at about 5 total mana, and I think it's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we might have enough to still go and pay for Yavimaya Hollow too. So I'll go and take that. Get that commander tax up on our opponent's commander. Let's see what else they're gonna go for. Okay, they're simply just gonna go ahead and pass the turn to our opponent. All right, so we're sitting at 19, 10 total commander damage. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and go for Wooded Foothills. Let's go and grab Taiga. And I guess at this point, do we push in with Hallar? No, because, yeah, that kind of puts us in a weird spot with Yavimaya Hollow. We could go for Heroic Intervention to give it indestructible and still push in for 3, if that's what we want to do. But I kind of want to hold on to Heroic Intervention. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and go for Regenerate Target Creature on Hallar. This is going to be 1 green mana. And then let's go ahead and go for Blasphemous Act. This should be, if I did that correctly, it should be, I think, actually almost like 4 mana. Yeah, 5 total mana. This is going to be white, colorless, red, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. 13 damage to each creature. It's going to take care of Scion, Blade Wing, and Nicol Bolas, sending them all back to the graveyard, and that will send Scion back to the command zone. Alright, opponent's going to go for Swords to Plowshare in response to that. Yeah, that's fine. We'll go back to 21. The thing about it is, though, that we can quickly recast Hallar and hopefully kind of start to rebuild after that. With our opponent losing out on Scion, they're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's going to be a little bit clunky for them to get down Scion, so hopefully maybe they ran out of, or maybe they've got a lot of dragons in the hand. It's kind of hard for them to ramp back into Scion or something like that. Now, let's get Hallar pipe back up. We can get Hallar down. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we'll still actually have Heroic Intervention, which will allow us at least to kind of stop for something, another effect like Swords to Plowshare or something like that. See what our opponent's going to be tapping out for. Then we have Numot the Devastator coming down. Deals combat damage to your player. You may pay 2 if you do destroy up to 2 target lands. So it's going to be a little bit troublesome for us. Let's see. Now, we do have Falling Timber to go for. That's something we're going to go for. Let's go and get down Hallar. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to tap out in green. We'll try to leave up Yavimaya Hollow as much as possible. Let's go and get down Hallar. Now, we can go for Falling Timber. Sack a land, prevent all combat damage target creature would deal this turn. Yeah, we'll still probably go and go for that. I think I like going for that because if they swing in with Numot, they're at least going to be able to destroy 2 of our lands. And if they really start blasting away at our lands, it's going to be hard for us to get any sort of game plan going. And at the same time, we'll at least get a, it's only 1+1 counter on Hallar, but at least we'll kind of start working towards some of those counters. So we'll see what our opponent's going to roll out. But other than that, it's a pretty fun deck. Solidarity of Heroes. It's like when I went to record for this game, like I can't tell you how many games I ended up drawing into that or had it in my opening hand. And it was just like, it makes you, let's say that we have Hallar sitting at about 5 or 6 counters. If you're able to cast Solidarity of Heroes, let me make sure I'm saying that right. Yeah, Solidarity of Heroes. I didn't want to get the wrong name mixed up in my head. But it just kind of allows you for 2 mana to just almost like steal the game from your opponent because they're not expecting that. There's going to be situations where since Hallar does have trample, you can swing in and they're like, well, opponent's going to go for Patriarch's Bidding. Choose a creature type and then... yeah, I think that's going to get it. Do we have any... we don't have any creature types. We have a Blasphemous Act in the graveyard. That's going to be 1, 2, 3. That's going to be 3 dragons coming out of the graveyard. We'll just go and choose... why not? We'll choose Elf on this one. But we don't get anything. They're going to have Numot coming across. I guess technically we'll still go for Falling Timber because they did leave up just enough mana to go for that activation off Numot. So let's go for Falling Timber. Cast with a kicker. And we'll go and choose just Scion on this one. That's going to be 1, 2, 3. We're going to sacrifice his basic mountain. Okay, sorry about that. I had like a little quick sneezing attack right there. So our opponent's we ended up going for Falling Timber, blanking out Numot. They're not going to be able to destroy our lands. And at the same time, they did end up getting down Elvish Harbinger off the Dragon trigger, searching up an Elvish Piper. So it's at least going to buy us an additional turn. Let's see what else we can kind of draw into. Other than that, it's not looking so good. They've got at least 21 points of damage in the air, and we have no way to stop it. Okay, so we draw into Forgotten Ancient. Yeah, there's not much we can do on this one. Let's go ahead and scoop this one up. Yeah. Make sure I'm looking at it right. Yeah, we can't do that. Even if we were to somehow get a few extra counters and using Soul Fire with Hallar, I don't think we're going to be able to take care of it. It's a good game to our opponent. Fortunately, Scion got it on this one. But yeah, you can see where the deck, definitely want to get down to stuff like Yavimaya Hollow. We have some good utility lands on this one, so I might go and splice this onto another video or something like that. But Yavimaya Hollow and Keswick Wolf are great cards to run in Hallar. It kind of helps you when you're playing against a just kind of aggro style deck. It's not that good, but at least getting these down, it really kind of helps you push an alternative game plan with Hallar. All right, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye. Welcome to the Numot Party in the USA. As far as opening hand goes, yeah, I love it. We'll definitely go and keep on this one. Have a little bit of early card advantage and sleight of hand and something to kind of work towards a prophetic bolt, and then some good late game card draw in Communion with Lava. What do we want to start off with? It could go for... Yeah, we definitely want to go for sleight of hand. Let's go and shock in Hallowed Fountain. Yeah, we're going to pay 2 life on this one, and let's go and go for sleight of hand. Let's look at the top part of our library. Let's go and put Boros Charm into our hand, or do we want to go for that land? Actually, let's go for Plains. I want to make sure we're going to be online for Numot. So I was going to go for Plains, and then Boros Charm goes to the bottom. Then anything else, we're going to go pass turn to our opponent. Yes! Welcome. Happy 4th of July. Hopefully your 4th of July is a good one. If you're not from the United States, it's our Independence Day, 4th of July. So that's why we've got the nice eagle down in the bottom left corner. I was looking to do, so Numot, it kind of has like a weird like art on it. It's like really wide. And so sometimes the art doesn't really look good if it's really wide like that. And plus there's not... And if you look at Numot, its wings kind of look like cheese. And so I always just like, I don't know, it always bothers me. So I didn't really enjoy Numot last year in the overlay because I thought its wings looked like cheese. And so anyway, went into Google, typed in 4th of July Eagle, and that popped up. And I felt that was very fitting for this party in the USA with Numot. So pretty fun. So if you're wondering why that's down there, that is 100% why. All right, drawn to Remand. Let's go and go for Cascade Bluffs. Yeah, we're going to get that down. And then anything else, we're going to go and pass turn to our opponent. We're playing Numot, the Devastator, the fireworks show. Flying whenever Numot deals combat damage to a player, you may pay 3 mana. If you do, destroy up to 2 target lands. Opponent's going for Valley Dasher. Yeah, let's go and go for Remand on that one. Going for a little bit of a tempo play. Get a little bit extra card draw for that. Drawn to play Island. Okay. And then we'll see what we want to get down next turn. Playing against Zurgo, Bell Striker. Can't block creatures with power 2 or greater, and then has the dash ability for 2. Alright, drawn to Thran Dynamo. Let's go ahead and get down Mountain. Actually, we're going to go for Glacial Fortress. Yeah, I like that. Get that down, nothing for 3, then we're going to go and pass turn to our opponent. Covered Zurgo, Bell Striker, it is Numot, and then we are good to go. But yeah, as far as 4th of July, hopefully you have a good day today. You know, it's always a nice holiday. I don't have any plans right now. Typically, we just kind of maybe go over to a friend's house for a little bit of like a barbecue or something like that. So, but we don't have anything set right now, so I'll definitely take that. And if we end up just simply relaxing, that's always fine with me too. Let's go and grab Volcanic Island. Let's go and tap out for Thran Dynamo. Be 1, 2, 3. Now, typically with Numot, I'm not a huge land destruction fan, but if it's something that we have to do to close the game out against something like Zurgo Bell Striker, we'll definitely go for it. But at this point right now, we're kind of sitting okay. You know, if they get something really kind of crazy out there, Mana Barbs, taps a land for mana, deals 1 damage. Okay, so we may end up going for Numot. We'll see though. All right, drawn to Boros Charm. Let's go and get an island down. Yeah, I think I like going for Numot. Let's go over this. It's going to be 1, 2, 3. And we don't have to take such a hard hit off Mana Barbs off that either. It's going to tap out for Jeskai colors. It's going to be red, blue, and then white. Knock us down to 15. It's going to get Numot down, and then anything else we're going to pass turn to our opponent. Now, we are cut off on Boros Charm. I'm trying to really minimize the amount of damage that we'll be taking from Mana Barbs. We do have a couple different ways to deal with it. We have Wear Tear in here, and I'm pretty sure we do have what is it? It's the naturalized, the white rent naturalized. I can't remember the name of it, but that would be another way for us to kind of draw out of this one. Hopefully, if our opponent does end up swinging in, we'll definitely go and block with Numot, so they have a burn spell, so be it. But if we swing in, we'll be able to get that 3 damage going, or excuse me, that activated ability and kind of blow up their lands. At least kind of slow them down on mana and kind of slow the game down just a little bit. And hopefully, maybe we can draw into something like Sphinx Revelation and kind of get that card draw going, and then hopefully kind of negate some of that mana bar. Right, opponent's going to be swinging in for 4. Let's go and trade with the Valley Dasher, and that'll allow them to get in for 2, knocking us down to 12. Alright, opponent's going to go for Collective Defiance. 3 damage to us and 4 damage to target creature, and that will send Numot back to the command zone. So our opponent's got their own fireworks. Now, let's see what we draw into. Drawn to Azorius Signet. Let's go and get Mountain down. Our opponent told us just to tap them, to tap the lands down. We'll see if that's good for us. Let's just go ahead and pass the turn at this point right now. Always enjoy stuff like that. It's always a lot of fun. And anyway, our opponent told us to tap our lands down, but we're not going to go for that one. We can go for Prophetic Bolt if we want to. That will knock us down to not that bad, only 2 damage, and it's going to allow us to stop that. Yeah, let's go and go for that one. Let's go for, let's choose Zurgo on this one. That's going to be blue and a red, and then 1, 2, 3 off 3 and Dynamo, putting us down to 7. So hopefully we're not going to get our life total down too low with a burn spell from our opponent, but at least this is going to allow us to take care of Zurgo, and then kind of get a little bit of card advantage by looking at the top 4 cards of our library. All right, opponent's going to go for Smash or Smithereens. It's going to be 3 damage to us. Okay. And that will put us down to 4, basically almost kind of... Ooh, Disenchant. Okay. Let's go and grab Disenchant. Yeah, there we go. All right, so we grab Disenchant, put those on the bottom in any order. It's going to take care of Zurgo. Let's go and go for Disenchant on Mana Barbs. We'll see what they have, though. They might have some sort of burn spell. That's going to be 3... Oh! So if we tap out for Disenchant... That's going to take care of Mana Barbs. We're going to take 2 damage, puts us down to 2, then that's going to be 3 damage being dealt to us. There's nothing that we can do off of this one. Oh, good game to our opponent. All right, they've got it. We're going to let that go through. It just kind of stings that our opponent ended up, we finally run into Disenchant, but our opponent's going to get it on this one. We'll go and tap a Volcanic Island down to, even if we tap out for Sphinx Rev, that Mana Barbs trigger is going to go on the stack first. So we're going to get that damage dealt to us. Good game to our opponent. Unfortunately, the fireworks backfired on us, but... If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.